We are ready for step 4 of the life editing process. Rearrange everything into a perfect flow. So when I was editing book manuscripts, we found the good stuff, we found the foundation that we're going to keep. We got rid of the bad stuff, we deleted those bad influences. And we added in the good stuff that was missing, filled in all the gaps. But sometimes, even though we had everything that was supposed to be there, it still didn't feel quite right. There wasn't a flow to the article or to the chapter. So what we had to do was rearrange a few things so that everything flowed, there was a cohesive story, and everything made sense. We didn't want people to stop reading like halfway through the chapter. We wanted everything to flow nicely. So in terms of life editing, sometimes you'll have everything. You'll have all of the appointments, you'll have all of the hobbies that you're doing, you'll have time with your family, you'll have your work and career stuff. But for whatever reason, there's roadblocks, bottlenecks, or you find yourself wasting time, or you find like, oh, at 3 o'clock every afternoon, I just can't get anything done. Or try as you might, you are always finishing things at the very last second, or just barely getting them done, or not done at all. So sometimes we need to look at our time, look at our schedules, and move things around so that everything can flow. And that's what we're doing. So rearranging everything is all about time management and using your time wisely. So let's talk about managing your time. It's just like how we say that if you don't make choices for your life, other people will be glad to make choices for you. If you don't make choices for your time will disappear, time will run away, and you wonder what happened. So you have to proactively say, this is what I'm doing with the precious minutes that I have. And they really want you to take advantage of your time, because we've talked about this before. Time is a limited resource. It's non-renewable. Time keeps going, keeps marching on. And you can't make more time no matter how much you try. You can't go back to yesterday. You can't like poof, add an 8th day of the week. So you've got to use the time that you have. Unlike other resources, like energy or money, they do replenish where you can get more of that. You can't get more time. So I want you to think about, where do you waste or lose time? Does anyone have an example where you look up from the clock and you're like, whoa, I just spent an hour on Facebook? or oh, hey, the whole afternoon went by and I was scrapbooking all day and it felt wonderful. Can you guys give me an example of when you lose time, whether it was good or bad?
Emails.
Emails, tell me. What do you mean?
Yeah, shit tons of emails that come in that you sign up for or whatever, and you just start reading everything because you don't want to miss out on whatever's, yeah.
I would think 9 times out of 10, there's nothing in there but ads.
But there's
I don't know.
That one time.
Don't want to miss it.
Yeah, so before I came, I was deleting and unsubscribing.
Yeah.
Girl Heart's Content, yeah.
I think that's a really
That's
good
what we
idea.
teach.
Delete.
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
search your inbox for the word unsubscribe and click on all of those mails because they'll have the unsubscribe. Click in there. That's what I gotta do. But not yours.
I've had people tell me that they have to unsubscribe even though they love my stuff, and I'm like, I get it. I have to unsubscribe from other people too, even though I love them. My time is precious. I have to be really strategic. If you can't just delete, remember, we can make a boundary too. So you can set up another folder in your email and have all of those filed into the folder, so you don't even see them in your inbox. They just automatically go to the read later folder.
Google does that for you automatically now.
Yes.
Yes, they do. So nice.
So you don't have to be a slave to the emails, like, oh, an email came in now, I have to read it. Oh, 5 minutes later, another one came in now, I have to read it. No, you can read those emails when it's convenient for you. Like when you have free time, or when it's not your prime working hours. Like for me, my mind is like most alive from like 8 to 11 in the morning. So that's when I need to do my really good work. So I'm not checking emails or reading sales offers or whatever, then, or goofing off on social media. I do that later when I don't need my mind. When I don't need
Your
to
mind
be
it
super
next.
focused.
Yeah.
So, yeah, emails. Emails will take up your whole day if you let them. Who else has an example?
I can sit down and read for 3 hours, and
Yeah.
the next thing I know, it's like, oh, it's stuff I was gonna do, and
I'm right there with you. I can read and read and read. Do you ever put any kind of boundary under reading, whether that's like, I'm gonna set a timer and read for 15 minutes and then stop?
I'm considering it. Like, one of the things I did was last year I deleted my news apps because they were just sucking the life out of me and not really telling me anything anyways. And I could still get distracted by Facebook or things like that, but it's more just kind of like being aware of it
Yeah.
and how much time I'm wasting, and then I just don't do it. But like reading, because I'm like, oh, reading's good.
Yeah.
It kind of turns into a time suck sometimes, or like I'll sit down and do like crafty stuff, and then like 5 hours later, I'm like, oh, I started 7 things, and none of them are gonna get completed. So
I want you to do those self-care activities, the reading and the craft stuff. I'm a huge crafter too, and do those things. But I know it's hard to say. We do have to put some kind of boundaries on our self-care, our self-comfort, which we'll talk about in another section. Because yeah, if we're having a hard time or if we're feeling deprived from self-care, we'll just spend the entire day reading or crafting, and then we'll feel bad later. Oh, I couldn't get a single work thing done because I was just doing self-care all day. So you'll feel good in one way, but not good in another way. So I like the idea of putting some kind of constraints on your time. For my reading, I can give you examples. There are times where I set a timer, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I read for that amount of time, and then I get back to whatever else I need to be doing. So I get the self-care, I feel good, but then I have that end point, I have that boundary. Also, you know my tab technique. I say it like it's some kind of like amazing technique. It's just using Post-it notes in my books. So I'll take a book, and I will divide up the book for however long I want to be reading it. So normally, if I have like a 200-page book and I want to read it during the week in 5 days, I divide it up by 5 sections, and I put a Post-it, what is that, every 40 pages? So then I sit down and I do my reading time. When I come to that Post-it, oh, I've read my 40 pages, I'm done with this for today, and then I can continue tomorrow. So I have that guaranteed self-care time coming up the next few days, so I don't feel like, oh, I've got to read the entire book in one day because I'll never read again or something. I know I've got guaranteed time later. I've got it all sectioned out. What's that phase? What's that phase?
but sometimes you just hit a really good part of the book. You don't know what happens next.
That's what happens with TV episodes for
Yeah. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna close
What
my
I found
eyes.
with the tabbing though,
Oh no.
like I look at the chapters,
Add
and
the chapters.
so I will always put it, you know, I make it so it's at a place where it makes sense.
Mhm.
You know, even though I'm trying to keep it about that many pages.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might go 5 over, and
Right.
sometimes it might go 2 under, but
Yeah.
basically it's like I want to read this book in a week. So it's just, you know, where it makes sense.
For fiction, you don't want to have that last chapter be
Uh.
saved. You're like, God, I just gotta finish it.
Right.
Just read that one.
I would say, okay, if that's an issue where you don't want to stop, that's okay. Just plan to do that, not during your prime times. Do it right before bed, because if you sleep a little later, like nobody's waiting for you in the middle of the night to like turn in that report, make me a sandwich. Like nobody's waiting, and I hope nobody's waiting at midnight for that. So if it goes, it spills a little longer, it's okay because there's nothing there. It's all right. Or do it on the weekends and make it really special. Get yourself a cup of tea, like curl up on the couch or sit out on your porch or whatever it is to make it like really, really enjoyable, and so you can look forward to it and anticipate it all week. How many of you have kept a time log before? Yeah? What did you learn? from writing down what you're doing in every 15 or 30-minute increments.
I used to teach the time of all this stuff to high school kids and their stress management because I was a health teacher too. And when I did it on myself, I was shocked how much stupid TV I was watching. Wow. You know, and so for like 1 year I gave up TV. And then
I've done
it
that
was,
too.
yeah.